Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name's Jemima. I'm in recovery from an eating disorder and I'm finding faith through the fight. So today I thought I would talk about types of hunger in recovery. Now there are 3 different types of hunger in recovery. There is physical hunger, mental hunger, and also extreme or sometimes called healing hunger. Now, physical hunger is when you get that physical sensation in your stomach. Sometimes it's a rumbling or a pain. If you haven't suffered with an eating disorder, you'll get that regularly, and it just means you need to go and eat something, have a meal, have a snack, and you'll be satisfied. It might also be that you get an empty stomach feeling, or that you just feel a bit woozy or a bit dizzy or nauseous. Now, mental hunger can manifest in lots and lots of different ways, but the most common one is just thinking about food all the time. You might not actually have a physical sensation because quite often when you've restricted your food for so long, your body starts ignoring your physical signals altogether. Also, when your body is having such a small amount of energy intake, it's not going to waste that energy on sending physical hunger signals. It will want to use that energy for your brain and for your necessary organs and just keep your body going for more important things. So that's why you quite often have mental hunger. And it's important to note that you can be physically full and mentally hungry at the same time. That still means you are hungry. Your eating disorder will try to tell you that means you're not hungry because your stomach might feel really big and bloated. Don't worry, that's normal after you start eating properly again. A lot of people use the excuse that you're feeling physically full, so therefore you can't be mentally hungry, but that's not right. If you're thinking a load about food, go and eat. It's not normal to be thinking about food all of the time. Think about it this way. A normal person who's not suffering from an eating disorder and not in recovery from an ED will be thinking about food and then go and eat something and then forget about it. So if you're thinking about food all the time, that is mental hunger. You are hungry. And the third type of hunger is extreme hunger, or I like to call it healing hunger. Now this is when no matter how much you eat, you're just so hungry and you feel like you could go on eating almost forever. No matter how much you eat, you just don't feel satisfied. Now this could be either physical or mental. And quite often people say, oh, I wish I was experiencing extreme hunger, because they want permission to be able to eat that food. But what they really mean is, I wish I was experiencing extreme physical hunger. What you are experiencing is extreme mental hunger. I actually never had extreme physical hunger. I just had extreme mental hunger. So allowing yourself and giving yourself that permission to eat can be really hard, but you just need to recognize it as extreme mental hunger. Now with extreme hunger, the more that you honor it and the less that you ignore it, the quicker it will go away. I can't tell you how long it will be there for, that just depends on your own recovery journey and your own body. Sometimes it's for a few days, sometimes it's even for a few months, and that's okay. Now, what do you do when you experience all these types of hunger? Well, if you're physically hungry, go and eat something until that physical hunger is satisfied. If you're mentally hungry, go and eat something until that mental hunger is satisfied, even if you are physically full. And if you are going through extreme hunger, just eat when you're hungry. And that might mean that you're eating almost all the time, but that's okay. When you deprive your body for so long of the food and nutrients it needs, it's gonna be almost like a backfire, and it's going to want to eat lots of food. Your body is really clever and it's helping you. It's wanting to build back all those healthy cells and protect your body. And you will probably be craving more calorie dense foods, maybe more rich in nutrient foods as well, and that's totally okay. When you've deprived your body of these types of foods for so long, that's what it's going to need. It's not unhealthy, it's very healthy for you at that time, and it's what your body needs. So the answer to basically all these types of hunger is to just eat. And I know that's literally the scariest thing to do when you're recovering from an eating disorder, because your ED is telling you, no, don't do it. But the more you eat, the more you're telling it to shut up and go away. Even if you have a meal plan and it's not time for a snack or a meal yet, if you are hungry, go and eat. Then make sure you honour and stick to your meal plan as well. So if you're hungry and it's 10 minutes before you're meant to have a snack, go and have something to eat and then have your snack after, because your body obviously needs it. Remember that there are no food rules at all in recovery. You're trying to get rid of that mindset completely. There's supposed to be no control over food. If you ignore your hunger, you're also just more likely to stretch out the process of recovery, and it might lead to binging as well. Now, I do want to note that this does not apply to those who have been physically restricting themselves for so long that they're actually in a dangerous position if they suddenly eat a large amount of food. If you think this is you and you think you might be at dangerous risk if you suddenly start eating lots of food, please speak to your doctor. you might be at risk for something which is called refeeding syndrome. And then it's important to work with a doctor or a dietitian or your eating disorder specialist to slowly increase your intake until your body is at a safe place where you can then respond to your mental and physical hunger, like I've said. So will these types of hunger go away? Well, physical hunger, no, because that's your natural body signals. So you'll be physically hungry even when you're fully recovered. You'll be hungry, you'll eat something, it will go away. Mental hunger, will that go away? Well, yes, but it might come back now and again, and that's normal. You won't have, after recovering, all of this constantly thinking about food all of the time. And most of your mental hunger will go away because your body will learn to trust you again and start sending you more physical hunger signals than mental hunger signals. But it will still come back sometimes, and that's okay. And your healing hunger will certainly go away. As long as you're not restricting anymore, it will go away. And I can't tell you how long these types of hunger will go on for, because that's respective to your recovery, your body, depending on how much you restricted in the first place, where your body's at medically, and also how much you dive into recovery as well. Now, a couple of top tips for when you are in eating disorder recovery, responding to food, etc. The first one is, if you're hungry, just eat. It sounds really simple. I know it's not as easy as just eating, but that is the best way to combat your ED and to shut it up and put it in a box. And the second one is, don't compare what you're eating to others. Your body needs different things to someone else anyway, especially when you're going through eating disorder recovery. When I was in recovery, even though I would be terrified to eat a full meal, say I got a burger and chips with a friend, I would finish it and not be satisfied. My friend would finish it, or maybe not even finish it, and be full, and I would think, well, that doesn't make sense. I've literally eaten the same thing as them, and I feel like I could eat 5 times that and still maybe not even be satisfied. That's okay, that's normal, and it will go away over time. Make sure you honour your body and don't compare what you're eating to anybody else. So that's all I've got for you today on hunger. If you know any other top tips to how to deal with these 3 types of hunger, or if there are any other types of hunger that I haven't heard of or experienced, do put them in the comments below, and I'll see you next week.